Hey, what's up, guys? You're listening to the It Takes a Village podcast. I'm Ashley, your host. This is where the struggles are real, the callings are heavy, the kids are sticky. We come together because it takes a village, and this is your tribe. Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, so everybody is on this decluttering frenzy. It's after the new year, and we just feel all sorts of good about getting things right, for the new year, cleaning our junk out. And thanks to Marie Kondo up on Netflix, she's encouraging us all, right? Because we see the nightmare that is hoarding, and I have experienced hoarding. But let's talk about how to declutter. So, like, you're watching Netflix and you're like, okay, cool, but like, how do I actually apply this? So, I want you to be able to listen to this audio every time you're like, wait, what? What should I be doing? What's next? Okay, because decluttering is so good for the soul, you guys. Like, when we moved from our apartment or from our house, which was like 2,400 square feet, to a 1,300 square foot apartment, we did not even realize how much stuff collects. And it's like dumb stuff. It's like papers and this and that, like knickknacks that you're just like tossed to the side, and it collects, and things that you don't even realize that you didn't even need because you didn't use it, or like it just like just all these things. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Marie Kondo's Netflix series is really good to show you like how things look and how to fold things and all that stuff. But, and I'm not hating because I love it. I love that it's sparking so much encouragement. But I also want you guys to know what to freaking do because it's overwhelming. So, first, let's focus on one thing at a time. That's rule number one. Focus on one thing at a time, because if you just go balls to the wall of like, I'm going to clean, and you just like hop up on some Red Bull or some coffee and you just like run around, you're going to have several rooms that are a hot mess with things all over, and you're never going to get the job done. It's just going to look like a hot mess, worse than it probably does right now. So focus on one thing at a time, like clothes. I'm going to deal with all the clothes. Okay, break it down even more. I'm going to start with the clothes in my closet first. And if you lay them all out in your bed, you're going to want to clean them up, and make sure you tell yourself, I can't push it to the floor. It's either once it's on the bed, it has to be gone, because otherwise we just scoot it to the side and then it never gets handled. Lay it all out on your bed, all the clothes from all the hangers. Only put back in your closet the things that you absolutely love, that you have worn in the past year, will want to wear again. Not like those outfits that you're like, oh yeah, one day. No, if you don't really like it anymore, if it's out of style, if it's not you, if it doesn't represent what you want to be, all these things, then you need to trash it. You need to get rid of it. You need to donate it, because I guarantee it, saving these things is more hassle, and you never wear it, and it causes stress of trying to find things in the morning. Don't do it. Okay, so focus on one thing at a time. Clothes, whether it's shoes, bathrooms. I'm going to focus on the bathrooms. Kids' bathroom first, my bathroom first. Like, make a plan. Because speaking of clothes, this blows my mind. The statistics of how much clothes Americans wear. So get this, Americans wear only 10% of the clothes they have. So if you look in your closet right now, think of 10% of that. I promise you don't need all of it. So I've done it with my clothes. You can do it. And the thing is I think if you're like me, it's like this sale mindset of, oh my gosh, it's on sale, I have to get it. It's such a good deal, because you see like the price difference from the original price to the sale price, and you think that you have to have it because it's such a good deal. When in fact, you're actually saving money when you spend more on the things that you absolutely love, like the things that you can't live without. And then you have less. You may spend more, but you're actually spending less in the long run, because you're not grabbing a bunch of stuff that's on sale every time you hit up Target or Dillard's or wherever it is you go. Okay, the next step is to get the kids involved. You want your family involved, and don't be hassling them, like like yelling at them and nagging them, because nobody wants to do that. Nobody thinks it's fun. Nobody's going to want to be a part of it. So here's my tips to get your kids and family involved. One, don't force them, because they're only going to push back and it sucks. but teaching them what's in it for them. So, hey, if you have all these things done, your mornings are going to be awesome. They're going to be less stressful. You're going to be able to find your things. You're not going to forget your things. You're going to have more time in the morning for this, that, and the other. You're going to set the tone for your day because you're like, done. I got all this done. I mastered it. I'm ready to take on the day. You're teaching them those habits early, and then also reminding them, like, I have an 8-year-old daughter who's going to be 9. She gets it. Like, we have conversations about college and her lifestyle in college and all this already. Like, we just have conversations about life. And so, honest things that I tell her are like, when you live on your own and you're trying to go to class, and it's no longer mommy taking you, it's no longer somebody there to remind you, hey, get this, hey, get that. So, when what I'm teaching you now is to prepare yourself for being on your own, to live with somebody else, whether it's a roommate, in a dorm, an apartment, a house, or your husband one day or whatever. It's knowing how to manage your things, manage your time, set your day up for success, put yourself in a better mood, all these things. So, and these are honest conversations you can have. And sometimes it goes in one ear and sometimes, it goes right out the other. And sometimes they grasp it, they get it. It just depends on the day. You just kind of keep having to talk them through it because just like you, they're not going to understand. Like, they're not going to just next day wake up and nail it because habits don't just happen. They take work. They take us being intentional every single day. Um, so, yeah. And then at the end of the day, you decide. Like, you're the one that has control over, you and your husband talk about it. How important is this to you, this lifestyle change to you guys? Maybe focus on one thing that you're making a change at a time. Like making the bed. Let's practice making our bed every morning for the next 30 days. And you are the one who has control over that, whether you let it slide or you don't. You're like, let's just go. We need to get out the door. All these things, like, you know it. And so we have to take the time, if this really means a lot to us, to make it a priority, to make it serious, to let them know that we are serious, that this isn't just something mom is trying to do all willy-nilly, and then I don't even know why I said willy-nilly. Oh my gosh. Um, but like, let them know you're serious. Let them know this is for real. This is for the benefit of them. And it's serious in that way. If you make it seem like it's, whatever, then they're not going to see the benefit. They're not going to think that, oh, this has any impact on my life for real because mom's not that serious about it. Okay. So the next thing is the rules. So we have a paper, it's on our bulletin board. We have a family bulletin board in our office, in our house, and it is there because my daughter struggles with holding on to things, something fierce, and I used to too. So it's a reminder whenever we get stuff or whenever I notice things getting, piled up or collecting, I tell her to go look at that. Once, it's like a Sunday, that's our cleaning day. I tell her to take a glance at it, see what we have, and compare it to that list. So here's some questions. And you guys on Insta, like, if you follow me on Insta, I posted this on my account and you guys came up with some other really great tips, which if I can find it, I will add those onto here because they were really, really good questions to ask yourself. Okay, so our questions for keeping or getting rid of things is, the first one is, do you love it? Is it useful or beautiful? Would it be hard to replace? Have I used it lately? And does it cause clutter? So by those answers, you should be able to tell yourself, I either can keep it or I need to trash it. And you need to be for real honest with yourself because otherwise we're just going to continue down this rabbit hole of holding on to things. Okay, so I found the post. Okay, some other questions that you guys suggested was, does it still work? And is it worth my time? Oh my gosh, that one's huge. Is it worth my time? Is it worth your time to move it here and to move it there and to make a space for it there and to move it over here, to dust it off and move it over there, to dust it off and put it in a box over there? Like, if it's this, then no, get rid of it. Another great question somebody suggested was, if I had the money to buy it right now, would I? That's really good. Because most of the time I would say no, I'm not going to, because I'm like really tight with my money. So if I'm not going to buy it right now, then I probably shouldn't have it. Another one is, if I haven't used or enjoyed it in the last year, it most likely isn't worth the space it takes. That's a really good point. So, those are some questions. Those are our rules. And I would suggest you guys coming up with your rules. You can definitely use those. If you go to my Instagram account, I have the ones that we use posted on my actual like feed. So you could see it and you can copy it, or you can come up with some of your own and then put it somewhere where everybody can see it. So that way you can say, hey, go check out our rules to help you, like see what you should be getting rid of, what should be trashing, all that stuff. Really helpful, because then it's not just you, like, that they feel it's like this not so concrete way of you just being like, hey, get rid of that, hey, throw that in the trash, hey, keep that, like it's there, they can see it, and it's easier to understand. So changing our habits and our mindset is the biggest thing that is going to impact our decluttering, because it's the way we were raised, the way we were brought up, that we have now become the people that we are today. So we had moms, we had grandmothers that were saving all these things to give to our moms and us and our children and all these things. And the truth is that we are not those people anymore. Times have changed. We don't want those things. We don't want the clunky rocking chairs. We don't want to haul it from here to there. And that's another thing. If you're a family who moves, or if you want to be able to be on the go, or like you just don't want these things in your attic. You don't want it in your garage. I guarantee your kids don't want it, because we just aren't that way anymore. Like, you don't want to burden them with having to tote something around because you said, here, this was grandma's. You need to have it. It's your turn now. Like, you're putting that on them to have something in their garage, or to, like, they don't want it. They don't care. It's just a different time right now. And so, family heirlooms are not holding as big importance as memories, and because back then we didn't have iPhones. They didn't have iPhones. They didn't have movie apps on their phones that were easily accessible. So my big suggestion to you is to take a photo of it and keep the memory of it in your family. And if it's something like a ring, obviously, something tiny, something super, super sentimental, super valuable, then hold on to it. But there's a lot of stuff that we don't really need, that we hang on to, like, like outfits, all the outfits from my childhood. What I decided for my kids was I saved one outfit and then I put it in a box for them, and it had like I have a first birthday or something box where it has all the baby shower cards or something and some of their first birthday stuff. And so in there it has that one outfit, and it's like this little tiny box that we'll give each kid, and it's not going to take up much space, because I know I did not want any of my baby clothes. Your kids do not want any of those baby clothes. If you have something that, like, maybe 2 or 3 outfits that you really, really want them to save, but not all of them. They don't want all your smocked logo, monogram things. They don't want it, because most likely when it becomes their turn to have children, they're going to want new things. They're going to want to buy their own things. They're going to want to have a shower and gain all these things. And then you're just setting them up for failure in hoarding and having too much stuff in all the things by giving them more things, because they're going to collect their own things. Um, so I think that's really, really important to remember, is that, times are changing. There's ways that we can save things. There's ways that we can still have that sentimental value without having it collect and having boxes of it and doing this, and it's just a little bit different. So I kind of got off on a tangent there, but changing your habits and your mindset is huge. So the three things that we hold on to, and I went off on this because, our past is one of them. So the reason we can't get rid of our stuff is because we're holding on to the past. Like, what are you so afraid of letting go for? Are you afraid you're not going to remember it? Are you afraid that if it doesn't collect dust, that it doesn't mean you don't care about it? Because that's not the case. It wasn't the things. And most often, if you ask your kids, about their favorite things or their favorite moments, it's going to be a memory. It's not going to be a chair, a couch. It's not going to be a bed. It's not going to be these things. It's going to be memories. And those are the things that you hold on to. Like, what do you hold on to most? It's not necessarily that you wanted the bowl that your grandmother always made the brownies in. It's the fact that you always remembered your grandmother making brownies and the way that it smelled. You know what I mean? Um, okay, then the next thing is like that are we are so we are so wasteful. We don't realize that we get stuff and then we throw it away. We buy like 10 packs of command strips because we forget that we already have some. But if everything's organized and you have it where can be seen, you have a place for everything, which is something else I'm going to get into, then you will know that you already have 20 command strips and hooks, and you won't go buy 10 more. So this mindset change will help us to be less wasteful, to buy less things that we already have, to buy less things that we don't need. The third thing that is a struggle that we need to change in our habits and mindsets is scarcity mindset. We're so afraid of letting go because we are so fearful that if we let go of what we have, we won't get more. I don't know if that has to do with actually I do know. That has to do with mainly how we were brought up. The fear of something somehow in our childhood that we gave something away and we lost it. And then as adults, it kind of manifested into I want to hold on to all my things because if I don't, I won't get more. So, my challenge to you would be to ask yourself, is that really the truth? Is that really what you're scared of? And if so, does holding on to the things make the situation better? Or does it make it worse? Does it solve your problem or not really at all? Or is it something deeper that you need to look at that's beyond the stuff? If that's the case, then you need to continue on, my friend, and get rid of your stuff. And then you need to dig deep inside you and figure out what's going on. Okay. I'm not trying to go all deep here. I'm just trying to help you declutter, y'all, because it's so good. I can't tell you how much it's just so freeing to not have to jump over things or step over things or. So, lastly, I want to say everything should have a place. I remember somebody saying that they were really struggling with telling their kids to clean up. And in that moment, I realized, we can't, like, our kids struggle so much with us saying at the end of the night, hey guys, clean up, clean up, clean up, clean up. And then we say it like 20 times and they don't do it. And they're like, what? For one, you're telling a kid to clean up and they may genuinely feel like it's clean. This looks clean to me. I'm good, mom. Like, what are you talking about? Also, if you do not have a place for them to clean up, you're just standing there saying, hey, clean up. And they have no direction, no idea whatsoever because you've never created a system. That's on you, mama. What I've learned and what my school has taught me actually is that everything has a place. I realize this because my kids at school have works out on every shelf, on every wall of their entire classroom, several shelves throughout their classroom. Their materials are out wide open for them to grab, and their classroom does not look like a hot mess. Everything is put back neat, nice, exactly how it should go. And because the teacher has showed them exactly what the material should look like once it's taken off the shelf, put back on the shelf, and where exactly it goes. So if you don't have that in place in the house, they don't really know what they're doing. They're going to throw it here, put it over here, you're going to have piles over there. In our home, I've made sure to implement that same idea in our home that they're doing at school because I knew if they're doing at school, they should be doing that here. And because they're not doing it here, it's because I'm not setting it up right. So here we have a place for everything. They know exactly where their cars go. They know where the Legos go. They know where the books go. They know where the pencils go. They know everything has a place. They know where it is. So there's no question about putting something away. It takes some time. It does take maybe a trip to IKEA to get some organizational things, but it's worth it because then you're not going to stress them out when you say clean up, which is such a vague term. They're going to know exactly what to do. And then when they don't, you have no argument there because you can say, no, you know exactly where that goes. Everything has a place. And if it doesn't have a place, then it doesn't belong here, which is another thing that I've instilled in myself and I've instilled in my kids is that if it does not fit, then we need to reevaluate what we got going on. Whether it's we donate something, we go through our things all over and see what we have. Maybe we have two of the same thing, and But if it doesn't have a place, it's not staying. Okay. The other thing, I feel like I'm like getting out of breath because I'm getting so passionate about this, but another place that we tend to store so much stuff is the kitchen. Girl, don't be lying to yourself about how much you really use all those bowls. You do not use that 52-piece cooking pan and pot and baking set that you got at your engagement party. Trust. I know you're not up on Pinterest like you're the chef from France who is trying every single flambe in, whatever. That's not you, girl. So if that is you, more power to you, sister. And you, and maybe I hope that you will send me something really good. Okay. You do not need most of those pans. In fact, an average family uses the typical 5-piece basic pot and pan set that there is. Like for real. So my challenge to you, and I've done this because I got a new stove and most of the pans that I used didn't even work with the stove. And so we got like a 5-piece set. And I thought I was going to need more because my mom had given, you need this one and you need this one for grilling and you need this one for potatoes and you need this one for that. And so I took all these pans and I was toting them around. Oh my gosh, that sucked. But, like I thought I needed them all. And I didn't use half of them. And I didn't realize that I didn't need them or that I never would need them because the other pans sufficed. Like I just didn't realize it. So, my challenge to you is to box up those specialty pots and pans, like the oddball ones, the ones that you feel like you don't really use, and don't get rid of them because I know you're kind of like on edge right now. You're like, don't talk about my pans. But what I want you to do is to box them up, bag them up, whatever you want to do, put them in the garage, put them somewhere for right now, and see how you do a week without them. And like be honest and use your other pans and see how it goes. And it's going to be uncomfortable at first, maybe, or maybe it's going to be simpler because you have less to choose from. You have less pots and pans to sort through. Your cabinet isn't a hot mess to find the right lid and the right pan and all this and that. I want you to try it out for 1 week and see what happens. And if I'm wrong, you can add in some pans. But I'm going to guess that I'm pretty right, and you're actually going to realize that you don't need those pans. Okay, so let's recap here. Everything should have a place. Go through your kitchen pans. That's your challenge, right? That's can be your like number one thing. Come up with your first plan of attack, okay? And schedule it right now. Every Thursday, I'm going to declutter this month. I'm going to pick something each Thursday to do for 30 minutes. I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to start with clothes, 30 minutes every Thursday. Do that. It has to be scheduled. You have to hold it to an important as, a meeting, going to the gym, all those things, or it won't happen. Promise you. Okay. Focus on one thing at a time. Get your kids involved. Have rules. Post it somewhere where everybody can see and there's no, arguments about it. Focus on changing your habits and your mindset. Really think about what it is that's causing this to be so hard to let go. And then, again, take action, put it on your schedule, make it as important as anything else on your schedule. All right, so I hope this was helpful. I hope you can listen to it again and again. I hope that you find that, me and Marie Kondo we got your back, man. I'm going to give you the tips on how to do it. She's going to show you the how of what it looks like. She's going to show you all the little folds to fold out your shirts to where you can see everything. But I want it to be for real. Like I wanted you to walk away not feeling overwhelmed, but like, hey, I can do this. An average mom. I'm not a hoarder. I'm not like, super organized naturally, this and that. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. Hope you're having an awesome month of January. It is only like the third week. I feel like we're like so pumped at this point, but it's only the third week of January. And I know you guys can make it. I know that this is going to really impact your life, your family, and your home. So I hope that you really do take a chance on decluttering and digging in and diving deep to this opportunity. My last little plug here that has absolutely nothing to do with decluttering is If you didn't already know, It Takes a Village podcast is on Patreon. I would love for you to go and support us there. If you go to my Instagram account at the Ash Carroll, you can now support us by buying literally anything on Amazon. If you click on the link in my bio, go to support It Takes a Village podcast with Amazon, and just by doing that, anything you buy off of Amazon will support our podcast. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, tell your friends. I would love for them to be a part of our tribe. And man, like if they need to hear this, like if you know a mom hoarder, then you need to share this episode with them. Plus, we have so many great guests that have been on the podcast that I would just hate for the knowledge not to go anywhere, for it not to get to the mamas that need to hear it, to feel empowered, to feel encouraged, to feel like they're not the only ones. So make sure you're sharing. I would love to see if you guys post it. Or tag your friends. I'm paying attention. So make sure you tag me. I would love to shout out and say hey. And make sure you review and rate the podcast on iTunes or whatever podcast app you're listening to. I would greatly appreciate it. Hope this was helpful again. Hope you have an awesome day. Catch you guys later.